So second chapter of the Gita is called Sankhya Yoga. So this is Sankhya Yoga. Means here we are reading about the subject and the object differently. The Shloka 24 is there. Achedyo yam daho yam klesho shoshye evacha nityah sarvgata sthanur chaloyam sanatanah. So, word by word, I am going to describe this one. The meaning of the entire shloka is this soul is uncleavable, neither can be wetted nor can be dried. It is eternal, all pervading, stable, constant, and everlasting. Okay, so with for whom we are talking about here? For the soul, right? So the Krishna is saying whatever the soul is, it cannot be get wetted, it cannot be get dried, it's eternal, stable, constant, and everlasting. Okay, so the different words are here. The first word is there, achidyo yaham. It means the soul is incapable of being cut. So the soul cannot be cut. That we all know, right? The Atma is this, the entire thing, it cannot be cut. Then the second word comes here, akidyaha. It means that the soul cannot be wet by water. And with that, it has added there any kind of incantation or curse or medicine cannot drench the soul. Okay, now let's see. Many times we say that somebody said bad words to us, somebody cursed us, right? Normally we talk about now the people are cursing each other. So people cursed us. So they are saying if somebody is even cursing you, even they are saying bad things about you, even you are taking any kind of medicine, okay, it's not going to the wet the soul. So people, if they are cursing, to whom they are cursing then? They are cursing to this body. They are not going to curse the soul. Then it comes that any kind of medicine cannot drench the soul. So can you tell me what kind of medicine is Krishna talking here? The medicines which Krishna is talking here is about the all kind of medicines which people take to meditate, to accelerate the meditation, right? Different kind of drugs. These all things, all medicine, all curse, all water cannot do anything of the soul, right? So many times we believe that somebody has cursed my soul and I am so that's why I'm having so much problem in my life. So that thing is not true. Nobody can curse your soul. Okay, then we think if we take any kind of medicine like like marijuana or something, and it can accelerate or it can take me to the soul, it's not true. This kind of medicine doesn't work on soul. So all the philosophy which says that eat different kind of medicines and you will get the glimpse of, or you will become enlightened, the Krishna is saying it's no. It's no, no. Okay. Then after that, there is a word asoyaha. It means it cannot be dried by wind. It any curse or any medicine or anything cannot dry the soul. Right? Sometimes we say that somebody cursed us, so my soul became so bad, or my soul is suffering, my soul is got hurt. So Krishna is cutting all these things, and he's saying that any kind of curse, any kind of medicine, any kind of thing cannot dry the soul. So nothing can dry the soul. Then there is a new word, ivasa. The Krishna wants to say that in this world, the soul is beyond the reach of any action. Okay, the soul is beyond the reach of any action, so it should not be grieved for right. The soul never grieves. So we should never grieve for the soul because it's beyond the action. You cannot burn it, you cannot wet it, you cannot cut it, you cannot burn it. Then why to grieve about it? If something is in our hand, then only we can grieve. If things are not in our hand, we cannot grieve, right? So he's saying that it's beyond all the action. Now we say that there are atmas flying in the sky and they are causing problem in our life. So Krishna says that no, that is not true. The atma, the soul cannot do any action. Then it's another word is here, nitya. Nitya means eternal. The soul is the same all the time. It is all the time eternal. It's not going to change. Then the other word is there, sarvagata. The soul pervades all things, all men, things, and body equally. So sarvagata means like everything is similar for the soul. There is no different in any man, anything, or anybody. It's oneness. It's one for everything. Then the another word come, akaha. It is immovable. It doesn't move. There is no movement in the soul. The soul is always stable. It doesn't move. It doesn't go from here to there. Then there is another word for soul Krishna has taken, sthanahu. Sthanahu means it is stable. Sthan means a place. So it is stable. It doesn't vibrate. It doesn't shake. Nothing happens to the soul. Then the last word the Krishna has used here, it is the word something which doesn't have a beginning, something which never lasts. Right? It's not even beginning, it's not even lasting. So it is eternal. It's always the same. So the world is transitory while the soul is eternal. Right? Every moment the world changes. The leaves fall dry, our cells are changing, people are dying, taking birth. So the world, the entire Prakriti is changing. But the Atma, the soul, is never changing. In this world, everything moves, but the soul never moves. Everything dies, but the soul is everlasting. The soul never dies. Nothing happens to the soul. So the men who identify themselves with the body and material thing said that they do not realize they are different from the soul is different from the worldly things. What we usually think that how our body is, that will be our soul also. They don't understand that it's totally different. The soul is something different and our body is something totally different. Our body is made of matters, right? Five elements, but the soul is something beyond. So here the Krishna is wanting to tell Arjun, he want Arjun to understand only the soul, only the Atma is the Sanatan. Sanatan means eternal. Only the, here what we understand with the Atma, we understand Brahm, Par Brahm. Right? So that Brahm, that Brahman, that is only the thing which is eternal. Everything changes. All the ritual changes, right? All the festival changes, fasting changes, everything changes. From village to village, the God changes. From home to home, the ritual changes, right? Place to place, the festival and fasting changes. The scripture changes, the book changes. Some people read some book, some people read some book. Only one thing which never changes, that Brahm, that Atma, which never change, which is eternal. So whatever we are doing today, whatever we are following today, it will be changed. Maybe tomorrow something else will be there. And if you want to see 500 years back in the history, you will find that there were some other deity worshipped, there were some other rituals, and there the festival were also some different festival they used to do. So day by day, everything is changing, but that one thing doesn't change, which is Brahm, which is considered as soul, which is considered as the Atma. So according to Krishna, what is the religion then? We say Sanatan Dharma, right? That we follow Sanatan Dharma, that is our religion. So according to Krishna, what is the religion here? Is the religion which is changing, or is the religion which is constant all the time? If the word comes here, Sanatan, it means our religion is what? Which is constant, which never change. Everything changes. The way of living changes. The food changes, right? Like I remember like 20 years back, we used to celebrate the festival different way. Now we are celebrating the festival different way. So things are changing, but only that one Brahm, only that Atma, it never changes. So that Atma is our religion, that Atma is our dharma, that Atma is Par Brahm Parmeshwar. Now, when we talk about Ishwars and gods and deities and everything, who is considering them? We, right? We with the five element consider all the deities, Devi and all the gods. So they all, where do they live? They live in the Prakriti, right? We said that the Devi, the Shakti is the Prakriti, right? We always talk the Shakti, the Devi is the Prakriti, she is the nature. So they are in the nature. So time to time, their root changes. Different Devi comes, different God comes. But the eternal one never changes. So here the Krishna, who is the Krishna here? Is he the one who is changing all the time, or he's the one who is representing the Brahm, the soul, the Atma? So the Krishna is here, the one who represent the Brahm here. We consider him as a Par Brahm, that he is giving us knowledge. So the knowledge was always eternal. The same knowledge was 1,000 years back. The same knowledge was in the Vedas. The same knowledge Krishna gave us. And somebody else will also come. The Buddha gave us. The same knowledge will be there again and again. So it's like that. So only the Sanatan is the Brahma. The Atma is the Sanatan. Everything around is changeable. It change. So we should celebrate. We should do things, but we should not get attached to too much to the nature, too much to the Prakriti. We should not get attached too much to that, because that's the way, that's the path. But the reality is that the Brahm, that is always stable there. So this was the Shloka 24th. Any question? I can take questions now. Rohit, you're okay? Any question? Any discussion? Think.
I like the
Mhm.
explanation for Sanatan being eternal and unchanging.
Be eternal and unchanging. Yeah. Right? That's the Sanatan Dharma, which never changes. Yeah. So one is that soul, the Atma, the Brahm, and another is like everything going around it, right? So that is the Sanatan. So Krishna has described it very beautifully. Nobody reads it, nobody understands it. So that's why we have a different concepts. Uh, that's why we believe on different thing. But if we read it, we'll understand that what he has said.
I have a question. Um,
Yeah.
does soul ever take any karma? I know you said that soul doesn't get affected if someone says good or bad. But what if you yourself are doing good or bad? Then
Soul
it's
doesn't do any action. It doesn't do any action. So there is no karma at all. Who is doing the
so
action
where
here?
so where does the
Our
karma go then?
That's the question, where the karma goes then. Here we are not talking about individual soul. Here we are talking about the Par Brahm, that is called Atma, that is called soul. So that Par Brahm is never, it doesn't do anything. It never does anything. So it never get any karma. Right? What did I say? That we say that the Atma is doing something. The Atma doesn't do anything. The soul doesn't do anything. These dialogues that Atma is doing something, soul is doing something, and my soul and your soul is different. It is Abrahamic concept. It's not Sanatan Dharma concept. Okay, we had so many description words. I said meaning of so many words, that what Krishna is saying about Atma, that these all words are the Atma he's describing. So what was the description? It cannot burn, it cannot wet, it cannot dried, huh? And then it was like it never does any action. The soul never do anything. It doesn't do anything. Who is the doer here? The mind, right? The ego, the I tendency is the doer here. Why will the soul do anything? Right? The soul is one. The soul is oneness, right? The soul is pure oneness. The oneness doesn't do anything. The work is done by us. Our ego does everything. Did you get your answer, Lipika?
Yeah, I am processing.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Hmm.
if anyone does anything wrong also, it's their ego that is doing that wrong. That also
Yeah.
means that everyone has the power to change their karma because their soul has anyway not changed. So if they just change their ego, get out of it, break that cycle, they can reach to that pure stage of soul.
Yes, yes. Anyone can break that karma pattern and reach to the pure state of being a pure Atma, pure soul, pure Brahm, pure consciousness, oneness. It's everything is one. It's all different words are of the pure soul, pure Atma. Atma is not doing anything. The thing which is doing something, it is there is something, the entire oneness, and then there is something which is called the I tendency, the ego. Where does this I tendency, the ego lives? It lives in our mind. What is the mind called in Hindi? It's called man, chit, right? Man, chit, hriday, sometimes heart also. It's a different level of that. So that have a different description, and here we are talking something about soul which is totally different, which doesn't get any um, what word I can use here, it doesn't get affected by anything this entire world, right? Only we get affected, our ego gets affected, right? For okay, so if there is an accident happened, what will happen? We'll say, oh, so many people died, and we'll just feel sad and we'll move on, right? But if somebody, yes, this is the outer box, is the Atma. Lipika, teach me how to do it, right? One day sit with
I'll
me
show
and
you.
teach me.
Yes.
And yeah, and this is the little I tendency in this entire Atma, right? Which is in the Atma, but it consider itself away. Remember, we were talking about the pot, right? The water is in the pot, but the it thinks that it's different from the ocean. We did it last week that. So same way, the I tendency, how it does I tendency, the I tendency. it acts. Okay. For example, we can see like how do we copy the celebrities, right? We try to dress up like them. We want to be like them. But what happens? We can do our makeup, our hair. We can wear a dress like a celebrity, but we are not the real celebrity, right? So the eye tendency does makeup act like a soul. It feels like I am the soul, but it is not the soul, right? So the mind, it tells you that, oh, you are the soul, you are everything. Um, like false statement it gives to ourselves that you are the one, your heart is broken, you are the soul, things are happening to you, but it's not that. Remember when we were doing the 5 layers, what we read, that there is a mirror and the reflection of the mirror. Remember that mirror I made out on the board? In the mirror, the Atma is here, right? And this is the mirror. So this mirror is our mind, our man, our chit. So the reflection of this hand is coming on this one. So this reflection thinks that I am the soul, I am the Atma, I am the everything. Okay. Now the
Mm.
comes here the shloka 25th. The shloka 25th, again the Krishna is talking about the soul here. So what he is saying more, avyakto yam chinto yam vikaro yamuchyate tasma devam viditvanam nalu sochitu maharshisi. So it means this soul is unmanifested, right? The soul is the one which is not manifested. We cannot manifest soul. Okay? It's inscrutable and immutable. Therefore, knowing it as such, you should not grieve. Right? When you understand all these words, you should not grieve. So, what is the meaning then? In the shloka 25th, the first word about the soul which we are getting here is that avyakto yam. Because the soul cannot be deceived by anyone or the senses. That's why it is said that the Atma, the soul, is not manifested. Right? Everybody talks about getting deceived. Right? People deceived you, friends deceived you, in the relationship, people deceive you, right? So here the Krishna is saying avyaktoyam means it cannot be deceived by anyone. It cannot be deceived by senses also. Deceiving by senses means what? Can anybody tell me? It's very easy. Just think a little bit. It will come. What is deceiving by senses? Social
Receiving
media.
by body.
Social media, right? It is a deceiving by senses, right? You see a ice cream, a beautiful, colorful ice cream, and you will feel like to eat it. Then you see a picture of Switzerland and you want to go there. So you are getting deceived by your senses all the time, right? Whatever we see, whatever we look, we want that, right? So he's saying it's something which is cannot be deceived. Nobody can deceive it, and you cannot manifest it, right? But tell me, any of you, including me here, can't we get deceived by senses? Right now, if very yummy food is smelling, right? The moment we'll smell it, we'll become hungry. If very beautiful for the girls, especially jewelry, or if very beautiful dress or jewelry is there, even we don't need it, won't we get deceived all the time? So who is getting deceived here? Right? The Atma doesn't get deceived. So there is some difference here. Some difference there in the mind and the soul. These two things are totally different. Right? The soul is totally different. We cannot deceive it. Then the second word come. I think you guys can write down these words. The second word come, achintoyam. Mind and intellect. Now understand, mind and intellect cannot be perceived by senses, but they are thinkable. But the soul is beyond thoughts. Achintoyam, the mind. What is mind here? The mind is our man. The intellect which is in our brain, right? The mind and intellect means the mind and the logic cannot perceive by any sense, we cannot think about the soul. The soul is beyond thoughts. Same thing we studied about Lalita Tripur Sundari. What did we study? The mind cannot think about her, she's beyond thoughts. Same thing we studied when we were doing the Shankaracharya about Shiva. The Shiv is something which is beyond our thoughts. Same thing with Mahavishnu in his Paramahavishnu. He's something which is like Krishna, who's something which is beyond our thoughts. The mind can think, the intellect can have logic, but it is beyond those things. So can you now tell me, answer me, all of you, especially Kevin, you answer me. Can any of you can say that I have experience of soul?
I can't. No.
Right? How will you have experience when the mind cannot think about it? It went beyond, right? Everybody's understanding. Krishna has written it very nicely in very beautiful words. So word by word, I'm breaking it and making easy to understand, so everybody can understand. Now the another word is here, avikaro yam chute. The soul is immutable. It does not go under any change while the matter is changing. None of the mutation happens in the soul. Never, nothing happens. Why? Whatever changes happen in this creation, the reason is the matter behind it. Right? The five elements are saying that's why the change happen. But the soul is beyond any changes. It is transcendental. It is beyond anything. It's a transcendental. The soul will never change. So never use these lines that somebody's soul is bad or my soul is very sad. My soul is very happy. These lines are not true because nothing happened to the soul at all. Right? Why the saint who are very high, nothing matters to them at all. Right? How the people go and live in Himalayas, how the people, Aghoris are there, many saints are there. Nothing matters to them because they are at the level of Atma. It is called Atmast. That you are Atmast, you are just understanding or trying to understand the Atma, the soul. So nothing happens to you. Then another word is there, Tasma Devam Vivitaninam. So the soul is unmanifested, unbelief, everlasting, immutable, so one should not grieve about soul. So entire Gita was for what? To making Arjun understand that don't grieve and be ready to fight. So you cannot believe on soul. What can you believe? We we can believe on things which we can experience, right? Which we can vouch for that, oh, this is there, right? There is a tree outside, or there is something here, something there, which our senses can confirm. On only those things we can have belief. Something which senses cannot experience, we cannot even believe. So he's saying that you don't have to believe, right? It is unmanifested. You cannot manifest a soul. It's everlasting and it is immutable. No mutation happened. Okay? There is no mutation happening in the soul. So there is no my soul, your soul, soulmate, this soul, that soul. It doesn't, our Gita doesn't support any of these line. If the soul is in thousand pieces, million pieces, then we can say the soul is mutating. It's immutable. It cannot be break at all. No mutation happen. So you should not grieve about it. You cannot do anything to the soul. So that's why whenever the saints and rishis like Buddha, Krishna, Nanak, Mahavir, these people, when they talked Kabir, they never talked about soul a lot because you cannot do anything with soul. They always talked about the mind. Have control on your mind, think logically, because the soul is something, nothing can be done at that level at all. Nothing can be done. So soul never becomes happy, soul never becomes sad, it never look for a partner, it never look for a, you know, any happiness or any sadness. So these all sentences, our Gita doesn't support any of these sentences. If you guys hear somewhere, if you guys see people talking that Atma is jumping from here to there, my Atma is broken, my soul is broken, looking for soulmate, the soul was stuck somewhere after death. Understand, according to Vedanta, according to Gita, this is not true at all. Right? This is not true at all. Nothing can happen to Atma at all. It is beyond everything. It's beyond our reach. Only we can try with our practices to become very close to it, to become Atmast. But when we reach to that level, our ego vanishes. Right? The line which always I sing, that Prem Galiyati Sakri Jame Dona Samay. So it's so narrow. The love lane is so narrow, two cannot live in that. You and the God, Paramatma here, the Brahm, two things cannot live there. If the Brahma will be there, then you have to leave your identity at all. If you will carry your identity, your ego, your I, you are not never going to reach the higher consciousness. These two things cannot come together. Many saints have said this. Only one can be there, right? If the ego tendency, I tendency is there, we cannot reach to the soul level, to the Atma level. Okay, and it's nothing I'm saying, this is all from Gita. Now people sometimes say like purification of the soul, right? And then they say Atma Shanti, right? That now tell me these lines are right or wrong? Atma Shanti and purification of the soul, is it right sentences or wrong sentences? Lipika, tell me.
I'm talking on mute. Wrong because it's neither right
Yeah,
nor wrong. Soul cannot be. It's not impure to begin with, so how can it be pure?
very good. You got it. Now, if somebody say Atma Shanti, you can just smile at the person because that person doesn't know what is Atma. That's why they are saying Atma Shanti. The Atma
Mhm.
doesn't need any Shanti. The soul doesn't need any kind of peace because it is always in peace. There was no action happened ever. Nothing happened to it. So how it will be not in peace,
Mm.
right? So the very beautifully Krishna has described. When I understood this line, when I was reading Gita, after that, if somebody die, I never write their Om Shanti or anything. I stopped doing that. That what is Om here? We consider Om as a Atma, as a Brahm. The
Mm.
Brahm doesn't need any Shanti. The Brahm doesn't need any Shanti. So if somebody has died, why do I have to write Om Shanti? Then we cannot even write rest in peace. Who is going to rest? We are burning the body. Everything goes going into five elements. So that is also not a right word. So after that, it became so hard for me to write a condolence message. What to write then? So I always write, may God give strength to the family, the people who are left behind. Because the body, the five element, the body, the man, the buddhi, it all got burnt. It went into ashes, right? Now, the Atma is something, nothing happens to it. It's beyond everything. So, to whom should we give the condolences? What should we write? I know many time I write it on Facebook or somewhere, it looks very weird that I am not saying Om Shanti or anything. I just say that the people who are remaining, may God give strength to those people because those people are the people who are really suffering the loss. Right? I stopped using Shanti, like Atma doesn't need any Shanti. Om doesn't need any Shanti. Now, let's understand the meaning of Shanti here. What is the meaning of Shanti? Can anybody tell me what is the meaning of Shanti?
Literal meaning is quiet.
Sandhi Vichedit. Break it and see what is the meaning of Shanti.
I'm getting an answer. Bolo. Shan ki iti.
Yeah. So, what is the meaning of that?
Shan ka matlab your pride, which is related to your ego. Iti
Yeah.
is end.
Whose end is this? What does the
Ego's
Shanti mean?
end.
The end of the ego. Sa antah. The ego, the Sha means the ego, the I tendency and everything. Antah. It ended now. That is the meaning of Shanti. Whatever was there, it ended. Who ended here? The ego, the me, the I tendency, it ended. Got it? So is it good to write if someone dies Om Shanti? What does the Om is here?
Om is the Brahm.
Brahm, right? And Shanti, Brahm and the ego. The Brahm doesn't have any ego. So what is going to end in the ego then?